In a quiet village nestled at the edge of a great desert, there lived a man named Mahmud, known far and wide as the man who never told a lie. This remarkable trait set him apart from others, for honesty was not always easy to uphold in a world where even small falsehoods were often seen as necessary for survival. Yet Mahmud had made a vow in his youth to live a life of truth, no matter the cost. Mahmud's journey began with a lesson from his father, a humble farmer, who once told him, "A lie is like a thorn hidden in the sand. It may seem small, but it can cause great pain when stepped upon." Inspired by these words, young Mahmud resolved to always speak the truth, even when it was difficult. At first, people laughed at his idealism, thinking he would grow out of it. But as the years passed, Mahmud's unwavering honesty became both his greatest virtue and his defining challenge. One day, the ruler of the land, a powerful and cunning king, heard of Mahmud's reputation. Intrigued, the king decided to test him. He sent a royal messenger to summon Mahmud to his court. When Mahmud arrived, he stood before the king with calm composure, his simple attire a stark contrast to the opulent surroundings. The king smiled slyly and said, "Mahmud, I have heard that you never lie." "Is this true?" "Yes, your majesty," Mahmud replied with unwavering confidence. "Very well," said the king. "I will ask you 3 questions. If you answer truthfully, you may leave unharmed. But if I find even a hint of dishonesty in your words, you shall face the consequences." The court grew silent, and the tension was palpable. The king leaned forward and asked his first question. "What do you think of me as a ruler?" Mahmud looked the king directly in the eyes and said, "You are a man of great power, but your people fear you more than they love you. A ruler who is feared may command obedience, but a ruler who is loved commands loyalty." The court gasped at Mahmud's boldness, but the king was intrigued. He nodded, signaling Mahmud to continue. The second question came swiftly. "If you were king, what would you do differently?" Mahmud answered without hesitation. "I would listen to the voices of my people, for wisdom often comes from the most unexpected places. A king is strong, but his strength is multiplied when his people stand with him, not beneath him." The king's expression grew thoughtful, and the room grew even quieter as he prepared his final question. "Tell me, Mahmud," the king said, "if you could choose to lie and save your life, would you?" Mahmud's voice was firm and clear. "No, your majesty. My life would lose its value if it were built on a lie. Truth is the foundation of all trust, and without trust, no kingdom can stand, not even my own soul." The king stared at Mahmud for a long moment, then broke into a smile. "You are a rare man, Mahmud. Your honesty is both your shield and your weapon. I summoned you to test your reputation, but instead, you have tested me." From that day forward, the king sought Mahmud's counsel, and the two formed an unlikely bond. Mahmud's wisdom, rooted in truth, began to influence the king's decisions. The ruler softened his approach, implementing policies that uplifted his people rather than instilling fear. The kingdom flourished, and Mahmud's name became a beacon of integrity. But Mahmud's commitment to truth was not without its challenges. He faced moments where honesty could bring hurt or hardship, but he believed in the power of truth to heal wounds over time. His honesty was tempered with compassion, and he always sought to speak in ways that uplifted rather than tore down. Years later, when Mahmud was an old man, a young boy from the village asked him, "Mahmud, was it hard to never lie?" Mahmud smiled gently and replied, "It was not always easy, but it was always right. A lie may bring momentary ease, but truth brings lasting peace. The world needs more peace, my child, and it starts with us." Mahmud's legacy lived on long after his passing. The village taught its children his story, and his name became synonymous with honesty. To this day, travelers speak of Mahmud, the man who never lied, as a reminder of the power and courage it takes to live a life of unwavering truth.